Hello? Hello?
Hello, it's
Hari
okay. Yeah.
Om.
Audible.
Are you able to hear me?
Hari
Yeah, you
Om.
are audible.
Okay.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Okay, one quick bhajan.
Okay. I'll start, sir.
Yeah.
हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मन विजय करेंगे, दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना, भेदभाव अपने दिल से साफ कर सके, दूसरों से भूल हो तो माफ कर सके, झूठ से बचे रहे, सच का दम भरे, दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मुश्किलें पड़े तो हम पे इतना कर्म करे, साथ दे तो धर्म का चले, तो धर्म पर चले, खुद पे हौसला रहे, बड़ी से ना डरे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मन पे जय करे। हरि ओम सर।
Okay. Today, because of my messing up with the net, we can't ask Rita to sing. There is no time now. Okay.
Doesn't matter, Guruji.
Yeah. So, see, Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinabhaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Tam Sachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niritam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad itself is a lovely Upanishad in this sense. Its style of treating the subject, its style of developing the subject, and putting forth the different arguments, the compassion with which it's written, much more so the Bhashya of Sri Shankara. It's a whole lovely Upanishad. That's why everywhere in other Upanishads, in other spiritual texts, this is quoted. Out of this particular Upanishad, the best portion is Maitreya Brahmana. Just like Bhagavatam is a lovely text, but in that Krishna Katha is important. In Krishna Katha, Rasa Leela is most important. Similarly, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Maitreya Brahmana is very important. Why? It directly deals with the topic. It doesn't mix up the words. How does it deal? I will tell. Before that, I want to tell the few of you here today. I think a lot of people have gone to Kurukshetra, right? So we don't have the normal people here. They've gone for battle, Kurukshetra, right?
Dharma Kshetra.
Uh,
Dharma
yeah,
Kshetra.
yeah, Dharma Kshetram. So they've gone there. So we don't have, but the lucky people who are here, let me tell you, see, Vedanta is not a choice, whether you should have it or you should not have it. If you want to give yourself the best, which is Godhood, it is Vedanta. You have to gift yourself. So you can't take it lightly and say, right, I will, 1 hour I have nothing else to do, so I will listen. No, it's your life. Difference between being a suffering, crushed individual and being a free master of the world, universe, divine Lord. That's the difference. So therefore, it's not enough if you understand when I'm talking, whatever I'm talking, you should completely internalize them. You should completely internalize them. So therefore, again and again you have to think. Again and again you have to listen. So why is this Maitreya Brahmana important? When Yajnavalkya says, I am dividing my properties between both of you, my 2 wives, and I am going for Vanaprastha. Katyayani said, okay. Maitreya asked the straight question. That's why it's important. Direct question. She asked, Sarva Prithivi Vittena Purnastyat Tena Amrutam Syamiti. You said you are giving us this money and going. If this entire universe filled with money is given to me, will I get immortality? He asks. And he says, no chance. Na ashasti. There is no chance you are getting immortality through wealth. Amrutatvasya tu na asha asti vittena. There is no hope at all. So she says, Kena aham na amrutam syat tena kim kuryamaham. By what I don't become immortal, by that wealth what you are giving, what am I going to do with that? You keep it to yourself. Give me that knowledge what you have and then go. How many people today will say this? If they say I will give all my wealth, I am leaving home, everybody will say, I'm sorry, you are leaving. Okay, it's your choice because you got the wealth, all pretense, right? But Maitreya is different. Same thing, Nachiketas in Katha Upanishad. When he meets Yama, he asks this question, is there something after death, immortality? Yama says, I will give you whatever you want. I will make you king of all the 3 worlds. Don't ask me this question. See the subtle thing, important. He says, I will give all the 3 worlds, but don't ask this question. That means this question, this answer is more important and valuable than the 3 worlds. That's why he says, Don't ask me this. Nachiketa says, you keep all your wealth, design made cars, dancing girls to yourself. I don't need. Tavaiva vaha tavanrutya gite, he says. So, then he is forced to answer her. He says, yes, you want immortality. Immortality. Why you want? Because that is bliss. Immortality is bliss, happiness. Everybody is searching for happiness only. They are searching where it is not. And their very search makes it impossible to get it. They are searching where it is not, and their very search makes it impossible to get it. So, what to do now? I want it. You want it, you have to understand it, because you are already that only what you are wanting. You are not able to see that. So only through knowledge. What is the knowledge? He says, your own self is immortal, is blissful. It is because this self is immortal, this self is blissful, this self in you alone is the essence in all. This self in you is the self in all. Therefore, you love others. You love the family. You love the wife. You love the husband. You love the children, because your own self is in them. And that is immortality. That is bliss. Our mind always takes to the negative things. When we say you love the wife or husband because they give you happiness, yourself is in them. You think therefore I don't have to care for them? No, because it is your own self. You have to take care of them. Because it's your own self. They are not different from you. You can't ignore. You can't ignore. Not only the family you can't ignore, the entire world you cannot ignore, because it is your own self. Swamiji used to give a lovely example. You can't say, I love gardening, and not water the plants. If you love gardening, you have to water the plants. You can't say, I love God, and ignore God in all forms. You have to love all, you have to serve all. And that is the only way you can discover the immortal, the blissful that you are. If you are not going to drop your negative thoughts of judgments of others, you are still stuck with the individuality, the ego, the duality. And you can't be in two dimensions at the same time. You can't be sleeping, you can't be awake. You can't be in the finite, yet you can't, and yet you cannot be in the infinite. If you want the infinite, you have to go beyond the finite. Therefore, if you want to recognize yourself to be the God, the blissful self, you have to see that in all and love them and serve them. There's no choice. You can't say, I see many people, because I have several groups, about 600 people are there. People at 75, 80, I am 85, they are 75, 80. In Vedanta groups, saying God alone is real, all the time they are worried about politics. That's your priority. How will you wake up? How will you wake up? When you think the world is real, how will you wake up? So, the whole topic is this, what you want, this immortality, this happiness is the self. That self alone is there in all. Know yourself in others, love yourself in others, serve yourself in others. How to know this? The simplest exercise I've been repeating in every class. See, finite things you can go on improving, changing, new models. Truth cannot be made new models. So I have to only repeat. I have no choice. The simplest way to know yourself is you are the subject. Everything else is object. Subject and object can never be the same at the same time. So whatever you are able to see, including the form of God, whatever you are hearing, whatever you are touching, all that is your objects, including your body, your mind, your intellect. Withdraw from them temporarily. Because earlier I said, see yourself in all. But first to know yourself, the essence in you, try to withdraw from the differences, different forms. What is common, what is the subject, what is not an object, that you know, that is yourself. This is one meditation. Second meditation is, from you, everything starts. In you, everything exists. Unto you, everything merges back. When you go to sleep, the entire mind world merges into you, the consciousness. It stays there. When you get up from that same consciousness, the mind, the world, everything else rises up. So, where from my thoughts rise, if you can do this exercise, see the origin of your thoughts, that's you. Second meditation. Third meditation is that which is common in the changing phenomena. My body changed from birth till today, 85. The body is not the same what it was in birth at the age of 5 or 10, youth, middle age, and right now, super senior. The body is changing. Not only it is improving, changing, because medical science says in a few years, every cell of your body has changed. So the whole body is changed. If it is changed, if you are the body, how do you remember the changes? Because that body has gone, how do you remember? You were there in all the changing bodies, experience the changes, but yourself not changed. That which you experience in different stages of your life, that which you experienced in waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, because waking ego is different, dream ego is different, deep sleep state is ego is different, but you remember all of them. That which is common in waking, dream, and deep sleep, that which is common in childhood, youth, middle age, and old age, that is you. 3 meditations. And this you is immortal. This you is blissful. This you is the essence of everything. What more you want? Shall I close the class? Is the end. Nothing more you want. But you have to internalize this. You have to make it your own. Because I told you, you are immortal, you are blissful. I gave the logics. I also told you how to know it. Not merely logics. How to know it. Beyond this, what else you want? All that you need is go on meditating till you understand and then assimilate. First stage is listening. Second stage is understanding. Third stage is assimilating. Then the next question is, why at all God took these forms which are finite, full of sorrows? It is because He wants you to know Him, to become Him. Directly, you have only the means to know the senses and the mind. Senses and the mind cannot know Him directly. Hence, He, out of love and compassion, takes different forms so that through the forms you recognize Him as the very life principle that makes all activity possible. It is His compassion that He took the forms. And now what you have to do? Leave the forms and see the essence. Leave the forms and see the essence. And therefore He says, Rupam Rupam Pratirupam Bahuda. He becomes different forms. He takes to different forms. Like air taking different forms in different colors of balloons, different shapes of balloons, like water takes different forms in different sizes of bottles, shapes of bottles, colors of bottles. Water is the same, air is the same, Bhagavan is the same. According to the enclosure, condition, Bhagavan becomes Ishvara when he wills, Hiranyagarbha when he functions through all minds, Virat when he functions through all bodies, individual when he functions in one body. Same God. There is no difference. Know this and then become immortal and blissful. If you don't know this, it shows the difference. Knowing this, between knowing this and not knowing this. This is knowledge, not knowing is ignorance. Through knowledge, you don't depend even on external God. Swatantra. Through knowledge, Swatantra. No dependency, no slavery, no duty bound. It's only love. Because duty is good for normal man. Duty is good for normal man, but duty itself is a headache. I have to do this, I have to do that. A liberated man is beyond even duties. Why? He has love as his source, and when love is there, duties will follow. When you say, leave the world, leave duties, it doesn't mean that you should be stupid. It says, when you get God, when you get love, all these various things, duties and all that, they are included in that. Like when you transcend from millionaire to billionaire, millions are included in the billions. So also this love, when you discover everything what you want, all the worldly joys and sorrows, not sorrows, all the worldly joys that you want, they're all in that. Therefore, know that it gives you freedom. It makes you independent of everything else in the world, and you can enjoy every type of happiness. All that is included in that. And we're talking about this love. In fact, in my younger days, now it's world has changed. People were not very comfortable to say 3-4 decades back, I love you, because that's also always associated with film love. Therefore, they were not very comfortable to say I love you. You will be surprised to know the very first words in Yajurveda. The very first words in Yajurveda is I love you. Ishetva. Ishetva is I love you. So there is nothing wrong in that. And that is what we have to learn, how to love people without obstacles, without judgments. And when you do that, you become God. When you become God, you are immortal and swatantra, not dependent on anything else, not bound. Duties all come automatically. Love is your port. When you don't know this, what happens? In ignorance, you feel you are the body. Therefore, you feel you are insecure. Therefore, you want to gain things. And the worldly things are not enough. So you want to gain greater and greater powers. So all types of rituals. This ritual, that ritual, whoever suggests anything, do it. In that, what happens? You become bound. You are dependent on others. You are dependent on gods. You are dependent on mantras. You are dependent on karma. You are dependent on offerings. You are dependent on duties. You are bound by yourself, by your choice. You bound yourself by your choice, not what God made you, but by what you seek, ignoring God. Brihadaranyaka, lovely way, he makes you understand by bringing everything into discussion. Can I become immortal by doing rituals? He says they will all give you only finite results, even the best. The mantras have their limitations. The priests also have their limits. Priests cannot give you beyond a limit. Mantras cannot give you beyond a limit. Oblations also cannot give you beyond a limit. Therefore, only seek self-knowledge, by knowing which you become immortal, you become free, you have no duties, you have no bondage. For this, he gives two examples, two types of examples. Examples are many, but two types. How, just as I said, everything is, if it is God, everything has risen from him, stay in him, met back into him. He uses the example of beating the drum. All sounds various notes from the drum have emanated from the drum, and even though they vary, different notes, you know they are all basically the sound of the drum. When a drum is beaten, you do not listen to the flute sound. When a drum is beaten, you do not listen to the veena sound. So the various notes, through the various notes, you know it is all one drum. So similarly, when the world rises from Brahman, it is all one Brahman only. From gold, iron cannot come. Same, another example he gives, veena. When you play veena, different notes can come, different ragas, different talas, but all of them, you know, it is veena. When veena is played, you don't listen guitar. When veena is played, you do not listen to harmonium. So that is one way to know God. Another way he says, all these various finite things continuously struggling to gain immortality and happiness, to reach that state. What is, how? Like a river, how is the river formed? Water in the ocean evaporates, becomes the cloud, condensed and becomes the rain, falls on the hill, mountains. From there it becomes the river, then it joins the ocean. What is the source of the river in the origin? From ocean it became cloud. So it's all ocean only, going in circles. Wherever it goes, always hurrying to meet it back. So all our efforts are always hurrying to go back. And this process is we are leaving place to place. That is our death. Wantingly knowing, you are wanting to leave the previous state, take to the next state, that's called death. Death of the previous condition is birth of the new condition. And therefore, death is not all that bad to be afraid of. You need death to progress. And here, how to become immortal? How to become immortal? And why did you become mortal? You became mortal when you choose a body. What does it mean, a body? You become a limited individual with space surrounding you, a particular identity. And that makes you finite. Your power grows as much as you increase your identity with the family, with the office, with the business, with the society, with the country, etc., etc., etc. So, put it in the simplest way, living for the ego is death. Living for totality is freedom, immortality, bliss. Living for ego is death and sorrow. Living for totality is immortality and bliss. Right? There is a story for this. Once Vishnu arranged a party as soon as they got Amritam. from Milky Ocean. This story is not in the original. It's a story to convey a message. It's not there in the Bhagavatam. He arranged a thing and said, whoever wants this Amritam, take it, but you should not fold your hands. Without folding, you can take it and drink. Rakshasa said, like the parliament, it's all tricky, it's not possible, they walked off. Deva said, no, when Vishnu said there should be some purpose, some meaning. So what they did is, they thought about it. There is something good for us. They had faith in Vishnu. Therefore, they thought, and what they did is, each took the Amritam and fed the other. Then you don't have to fold your hand. Each took the Amritam and fed the other. Same way, when you live for others, you get immortality, you get Amritam. When you live for yourself, nothing but death and mortality and sorrow is guaranteed. Right? So, this is brought out in a lovely story, Prano Upasana. That is, when you can't get this truth, that means there are some mental blocks. They have to be cleared. The way to clear these mental blocks is called Upasana. Here he gives various Upasanas in Brihadaranyaka, only not for you to follow them, to make you realize even the best of these Upasanas are still finite. Go beyond them to make you realize that they are finite, you don't need them. He takes one by one and explains to you. Not only Upasanas, all that we know, he takes the senses and sense objects and says they mutually are dependent and finite, but they draw their life from Brahman and go to Brahman, go beyond the senses and sense objects. They are called grahas and atigrahas. And then he says, in the world, everything serves the other. Earth serves the man. Man becomes earth when he dies, mutually serving Madhu Vidya. Madhu Vidya. Why they mutually serve? Because they have a common cause, common source. Tejo Maya, Amrutamaya, Purushaha. Tejo Maya, brilliant. Amrutamaya, immortal. Purushaha. That Lord is common in both, in earth and you, the being, in water and you, the being, in Akasha and you, the being. So everything, the only purpose is to know this God. And therefore all rituals also are for that. To clean the mind, to clean the blocks and take you beyond this finite, conditioning, egoistic individuality. So various rituals, amongst them, he takes Pranopasana to give an example how you, by identifying with totality, can become immortal. How you, by identifying with totality, become immortal. There are two entities in us, Devas and Asuras. When your mind is Shastra oriented, all our actions are tradition oriented, believe in God, you are a Deva. When our mind is materialistic, believes in what it sees, pratyaksha, and immediate results, you are a Asura. They are not two different types of people. In fact, Devas or Asuras are the children of same Kashyapa. Father is the same. You are the same. When you are noble, you are a Deva. When you are egoistic, selfish, you are a Asura. So, Devas are always few in number. Asuras are more in number. These Devas said they are more, they will conquer us. Therefore, let us invoke God through Udgita, prayer. So when the I started invoking, Asuras came and polluted it. Therefore, I started seeing all things that should not see. Same thing with ears, nose. They polluted. When it came to prana, they could not succeed in polluting. They crumbled like a clod of air striking at a stone. Why? I does its function only for itself, see only forms. It doesn't help ears or tongue or anything. Same thing with all senses. But what does prana do? Prana means receiving all stimuli. Your hand moves because of the prana. When you take food, it's called prana. When you gulp, it's called apana. When it is digested, it's called samana. When it is distributed, it's called Vyana, and when it is helping thinking, it's called Udana. So the same prana is helping all the senses, all our functions, not only in you, outside you also. Water flows because of prana. Tree grows because of prana. So that is the prana which lives for others. Therefore, that prana could not be destroyed by these asuras. They could not do. That is why, when you chant Shanno Mitraha, you say, Tumeva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. You are the direct, visible God. Tumeva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. And not only that, when you do Naivedya, what do you say? Pranaya Swaha, Apanaya Swaha, Dhyanaya Swaha, Samanaya Swaha, Udanaya Swaha, Brahmane Swaha. You offer to Prana and then to Brahman, because Prana lives for others. When you live for others, when you live for totality, you are immortal. When you live for individuality, you are mortal. And again, the rituals, highest they can give, he explains. Every ritual has 5 aspects. The one who does, and wife, child, material, wealth, and to gain lokas. To gain lokas, 5. He explains each one. He says, all the 5 are finite. How you can gain infinite through finite? How can you gain infinite through finite? Nahi adruvam dhruva nahi dhruvam adruvaihi prapyate. That which is firm, that which doesn't change, how will you get it? Through changing phenomena. You cannot get it. So all the 5 included in rituals, which is called Pangtam. Pangtam means 5. Pangtam means 5. They're all finite. How will you get the immortal that you want? Why are you unnecessarily spending your resources, energy, time, and wanting finite things? Finite things are already there even without this. It's only relative. Why do you want to suffer and do rituals and all that? Go beyond this for knowledge. That's what Brihadaranyaka says. And because this prana lives for others, relatively it becomes immortal. Therefore, it's called Satyam. It's called Satyam because it's relatively immortal. But that's also relative only. It has another dimension which is called Virat, Hiranyagarbha, finally Brahman. So this ultimate thing is Brahman. That is the truth of this truth, Satyam. Satyasya Satyam. Prana is Satyam. Brahman is Satyasya Satyam. Satyasya Satyam. There are three realities. One is absolute reality, Paramarthika Satyam. Another is relative reality, Vyavaharika Satyam. Another is Pratibhasika Satyam, reflective reality. Paramarthika Satyam is Brahman, water. Relative reality is ocean. Pratibhasika Satyam, waves and bubbles. Paramarthika Satyam is Brahman. Relative reality is you, the name and the form, the individual. Pratibhasika Satyam, that which is seen through the mind. So, there are three different stages of this Satyam. Prana is closest to that ultimate Satyam because it lives for others, it serves others. And Brahman is Satyasya Satyam, therefore you must seek only that Brahman. How do you seek him? By negating all that is changing, all that is objects, all that is not you, the subject. So it says, Neti, 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 Naiti, Naiti, Naiti. This is not me, this is not Brahman, because it is changing, it is an object, it is finite, not me, not me, not me. Annamaya Kosha, not me. Pranamaya Kosha, not me. Manamaya Kosha, not me. Vijnanamaya Kosha, not me. Anandamaya Kosha, not me. Oh, who am I? I am that which was the origin for all these koshas. I have never changed in them. They have been all the time changing. What are they? Nothing but me plus a name and a form. Plus a name and a form. So that is the main subject of Brihadaranyaka, talking about Atman, talking about the various rituals and their limitations, talking about various things that are serving us, like the senses and sense objects, like God with form, God without form, world with form, world without form, like mutually helping things. All these he brings into the discussion only to make you understand there is something in them, yet something beyond them. Whose form are all these? But he is above them. Wave, water, bubble, ocean are different, but all of them are nothing but water. Water plus a name and a form is ocean. Water plus a name and a form is wave. Water plus a name and a form is bubble. So Bhagavan Satchidananda Asti Bhati Priyam plus Nama Rupa is this world. Nama Rupa have no independent existence. Remove all that is changing. See that is changeless. These are not for listening once a way in your lifetime for 1 week. These are to every minute contemplate in all our experiences. Whatever you see, what is real, what is not real, what gives me happiness, what gives me sorrow. The only place where you can gain this knowledge, become God, is earth, not in Swarga. There you enjoy, come back. Naraka, you suffer, come back. But only place where you can gain this knowledge and discover the God that you are is this world. Earth should not miss this opportunity. You have done several punyas in several lives. Otherwise, you won't have even come to know this type of knowledge is there. And you got these books. And you got the Guru Parampara. Now you should hasten it up. Right? We will see next week. Any doubts, sir? Anybody has any doubt? Okay. No doubt. Next week we will see. Right? I'm closing 10 minutes before because I had to go for condolence meeting. Whose condolence meeting you know? 2 people active in Chinmaya Mission, they are in this group also. Pradeep and Chandrika. Chandrika's sister has passed away 10th. Today is our condolence meeting. I have to rush to the mission. So that's why I preponed also half an hour. Now also I am gaining 10 minutes. Thank you. I am going there. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, uncle.
Hari Om, thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, uncle.
Thank you.
Hari Om, thank you, uncle.